Oh, yeah! Ladies and gentlemen!
Are you ready for your moment of bliss?
Because what Poppy wants, Poppy gets.
Yowie wowie! I don't even know if that's PG! Acknowledge me! Woo! Oh, you didn't know? Well, let me tell you something, brother!
Welcome to the most must-see WWE talk show in history. Welcome to
the Cream of the Crop Wrestling Podcast.
The cream of the crop! Nobody does it better. It's still real to me, damn it!
Hello and welcome to the bottom line of WWE Friday Night SmackDown, November 11th, 2022. You're listening to the Cream of the Crop Wrestling Podcast, the podcast they use for mind control. We are your head shrinkers of the program. I'm Patrick.
And I'm Rob, and be sure to embrace the Kingdom of the Madness by sharing, and subscribing. Pat, we had ourselves quite the tag match tonight.
If you could give us one word of the night, what would you give us to describe the show?
We're going to go ho-hum tonight. That's kind of where the greatness kind of ends. So we'll go ho-hum.
Well, that's all right, because SmackDown did start with what you'd probably expect to be the main event of the night, which was the New Day versus the Usos for the Undisputed Tag Team Championships. New Day start the match like the 11-time champions they are, showing up the Usos controlling the first part of the match. Usos trade tags and end up dumping Kofi to the outside. Usos isolate Kofi and Xavier down off the apron to prevent the tag. Kofi fought back hard to get the hot tag to Xavier Woods, and Woods comes in and takes out both Jimmy and Jay. Hits a massive top turnbuckle leg drop. I know how much he hates that. Kofi hits an SOS. New Day pull out every move they have, and Usos begin to rally with a few double super kicks on both Kofi and Xavier. Xavier even kicked out the double Uso splash. The New Day hit the midnight hour, first to Jay on the outside of the ring, and then to Jimmy on the inside of the ring. Jay stopped 3 count. They come to a double stare down, which was a great spot, and they start throwing hands. Xavier gets sent to the timekeeper's area, into the barricade and stuff. The Usos trade tags and target Kofi, who's on the top turnbuckle. Kofi reverses it and goes for a dive off the top turnbuckle, only to be hit with the 1D, and the Usos retain and now hold the new record for the longest tag team championship reign at 481 days and counting. Rob, tell us what you thought and saw during this match.
This was a fun opener. We shouldn't have expected anything less, to be honest with you. I don't know if it's their best match they've ever had together, because I'll be real with you, there's not really what I would call any sort of bad New Day Uso match, and I don't know what their best is. I always look at that SummerSlam pre-show match that they had back in 2018, I think. Dude, that match was so good. And also their Hell in a Cell match that they had around that time too was awesome. So this, honestly, kind of right up there with them. Love the spot. It's the second in the midnight hour. That was the double stomp. Loved that spot. That was fantastic. A lot of great storytelling here. They did a lot of foreshadowing where teams were blocking each other's moves just because they've seen each other and they've been around each other a lot. Woods looks even more jacked than he has ever has before. That dude's been really looking pretty good lately in the ring. So I really liking that a lot. Just overall, it was the right finish. It was the right match. It was a great way to start the show. Big props to Indianapolis. Good crowd tonight. Yep, hometown heroes here. So really, really enjoyed that for sure. And then on the end of it there, I like the, after the victory, you had the nice stare down, especially after the win, the match where they were just laying in the ropes and, the Usos are tired, laying on the bottom. You got the belt strapped around them and you just see the New Day staring at them with just pure disdain, disgust of what was happening. A great shot. I know this really wasn't a feud. I hope this is the only match that they have for a while. I want to kind of keep them apart, go their own ways, because Jimmy and Jay got bigger fish to fry here later down the road, as we will talk about. But I also enjoyed it right after the match. I know you're going to talk about it here in a second, but I love when they go to the back. When they used to have wrestlers watching other wrestlers, it'd be on the TV screen and they're just standing there in the middle of somewhere. I love that Roman is sitting in this most comfortable chair ever, but everyone else around him does not get that luxury. So I know we're going to talk about that here in a second, but even better. So this whole thing was just a great match, a great post segment that we're going to talk about here. I loved it. I just absolutely loved it.
Let's talk about what happened after the match, because they go backstage right after the match where our tribal chief, Roman Reigns, is sitting with Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa standing behind him. And the Usos come in feeling very accomplished. And the head of the table welcomes them to being the greatest of all time. You know, he says, like, you know, this is what the greatest of all time feels like, boys. Like, you know, kind of like welcoming them to the island of relevancy here. He goes on and tells the Usos that he's going to handle some business later tonight in the ring, and he needs the Usos by his side. So, and then he gives both Jimmy and Jay, you know, a hug here. This is a little foretelling. I think, this is kind of the first time we've seen Roman open up to his cousins a little bit and kind of be a little more affectionate and not that hard, like, older brother to them. And, you know, like, you guys, they've proven something to him in that match tonight. They finally hold a record like he does. So, like I said, I think this is definitely them being on the island of relevancy here. What do you think about it?
What you said is, like, perfect to a T. Like, the way I saw it was Roman. So the reason, like, everyone gets, like, kind of crazy, like, why does Roman let Sami Zayn in on everything? Sami's just a little pawn to Roman. He means nothing to Roman. Roman likes to, I think, antagonize the Usos, especially Jay, with Sami, because that's what it is. It's older brother, or it's like a dad figure where he's just like, no, I'm harder on you guys because I expect more out of you guys because you're blood. I know what we can do as the Anoa'i family, that kind of thing. So I think having a moment like this for them to go back there and just say, like, you know, almost like, hey, Pop, you proud of me kind of thing. And then Roman looking at them and saying, you know what? Fuck yeah, I am proud of you guys. This is great. Like, this is a good, amazing step you guys just took. That kind of stuff. Dude, it was fantastic. Like, no, it was excellent.
Well, let's head to our next match of the night, which is the first matchup for the SmackDown World Cup. The winner gets a chance for the Intercontinental Championship. And the first match in the round one that we get is Shinsuke Nakamura versus Santos Escobar. Shinsuke started out in this match in control for the first part. They have a decent back and forth, but Escobar starts targeting Shinsuke's knee, and he continues to target that knee throughout the rest of the match. Shinsuke battled back, selling the bad knee, but relies heavily on his kicks, and he still managed to throw some kicks even on a bad knee. He managed to build some momentum and put Escobar on the defensive, and then that's when Joaquin and Del Toro ran a distraction on the outside. Santos Escobar wins after hitting the Phantom Driver, advancing to the semifinals in the SmackDown World Cup. What do you think about this matchup and this first real showing that we get of Santos Escobar?
So I thought it was an okay match. I was actually a little underwhelmed, but that's because I came into this match with like super high expectations because I like these guys a lot. So 10 minutes to me wasn't enough time, but I kind of understand it because it's TV, whatever. Escobar, man, like, he comes out like a star. Like, the mask, the look, he kind of gives me these 1991 Ultimate Warrior vibes with his with his outfit. First of all, what'd you think of Shinsuke in the yellow?
Looking like Kill Bill.
Yeah, right. So, and then also, was it not Walking Wild? Who's the other one?
Del Toro.
Del Toro doing his best Pee Wee Herman look-alike there with his suit that he had on. Them as a group, I am excited to see where they go a little bit later. Like, I think I think so many big things can happen with that stable because they have a great look. They have a potential breakout superstar, and then they have a great mouthpiece with Zelina Vega. So I am excited to see where that goes. I hope he goes deep in this tournament because there's actually another person I want to see him face in the finals because I'd love to see that match, but we'll talk about that later. So overall, not a bad opening match for the tournament. Curious to see where it goes on that front, but I think Escobar is a future star. We're just about 2 years away from that.
I have a list of top guys right now. That's like a side list of like future top stars, and Escobar's definitely in my top 5 on that list.
Yes.
And I believe this match was a good way of not really burying Shinsuke
No.
This was a good way to keep Shinsuke strong. So you're going to see some interference from Legado del Fantasma on the outside.
Dude,
I'm surprised that we didn't see actual interference from Zelina Vega herself to kind of finalize that. But we did see and I'll tell you from experience of watching his matches in NXT, just hints of what Escobar can pull off. And I think I think there's other plans for Shinsuke right now. I think there's something else. I don't know if they don't know what to do with him right now, but I think there's somewhere else he can be put to just be utilized. And I'm glad they didn't just have Escobar come in and steamroll him.
Right. And that's what I was going to say. This is a personal opinion. The Shinsuke train has come and gone. Shinsuke, there's no world unless something crazy happens where Shinsuke becomes a top star again, in my opinion. So to me, this is like the perfect thing where he is a gatekeeper to the guys that want to become the next upper mid-card heels. So that's just my opinion. So I don't think there's any way to ever bury Shinsuke anymore. I think he is what he is, and I think we all know that now. And I think I am personally comfortable just saying Shinsuke is the SmackDown upper card face who is going to get beat by the future stars / bigger heels on the roster on that time. And that's fine with me. That's where he is. He's going to be amazing on the house shows. Kids love it. I'm good.
Well, let's go backstage where Megan Morant has LA Knight standing by for an interview, and the Megastar is giving us another classic Megastar promo about how the only thing to be acknowledged is that it's a major fumble that the Megastar is not in the SmackDown World Cup. But during his promo, the screen behind him keeps flashing Bray Wyatt's symbol. Megan Morant can't help but be distracted until LA Knight finally notices it himself. And when he turns back around, Bray Wyatt is face to face with him. Bray cuts a promo saying he knows what it's like to have a lot of pent-up rage. In his whole life, he was told the rage was going to make a monster out of him. He goes on to say he knows what it takes to get respect, but is LA Knight willing to go that far? LA Knight fires back, saying it's none of his business, and Bray should go play with his puppets and stick them wherever they give him pleasure. And as Knight asks him, whose game is it? Wyatt headbutts him and takes him out. What do you think about Bray Wyatt's first matchup being the Megastar?
The idea that he's going to bury your future husband just makes me so happy. I think we talked about this a little bit before the show. I'm not match-wise. I'm not excited about this at all. I've never watched. There's very few Bray Wyatt matches, and I'm like, that was a great match. And I don't think LA Knight has great matches in him either. But these segments on TV, these promos are going to be so good. You're going to get Bray just try to play mind games and fuck with LA Knight. And LA Knight doesn't have time for that. It would literally be like Bray. And I say this with the utmost respect. And I say this with I am putting LA Knight as a personality and as a talker when I say this. It would be like Bray Wyatt trying to do this stuff to The Rock. The Rock is just going to give you a confused look with a smart-ass remark and not deal with any of it when he cuts his promos. Now, is he going to lose the match? LA Knight's going to lose the match because Bray Wyatt's a bigger star and will always be a bigger star. But that is exactly what I see happening, is where Bray is going to try and do his spooky stuff. Bray is going to try and do some mind games. And LA Knight's just going to be like The Rock, where he's just like, I ain't got time for that shit, dude. I am LA Knight. I got stuff to do. That's what it's going to be like. And I am excited for these promos. I think it's going to be a great way to honestly go through December. Give me these two guys talking shit to each other all through December. I'm in on that.
Yeah, I'm not happy about LA Knight going to be taking a loss to Bray Wyatt. But the silver lining in it all is the promos that we're going to get out of these two. And I believe Bray Wyatt's one of those people that can beat people and not hurt them. In a way to where it's not going to make the Megastar any less of a star. LA Knight can be beat by Bray and move on from that, and we're going to get some good promos out of this all, and I think we'll definitely get a decent matchup. But I think this is just all for the promos.
What? Okay, genuine question. what style of match do you think we're going to get with Bray? Like, and the reason I ask that is because we have like old school Cult Leader Bray, we had Funhouse Bray, we had Fiend Bray, and each Bray had a different style of wrestling match. So, like, I don't know, like what are we getting here?
I don't know. I think we're going to get a different spin on how Bray wrestled when he would come out, not as the Fiend, but as his alter ego.
Funhouse Bray?
Yeah, Funhouse Bray.
Yeah.
You know how it's kind of twisted and demented, but yeah, it's like it's aggressive and he's laughing a lot and stuff like that. I think we're going to just see, and I hate it if it's going to be that way, because that's going to make like 3 unhinged characters altogether between Liv Morgan, Nikki Cross, and Bray Wyatt, if that's how they're going to wrestle in the ring. But I think I don't know. I think Bray's creative enough to give us a new style in his own. So it'll definitely be interesting.
I think we're going to get technical Bray, like Zack Sabre Jr. Bray.
I think I don't know. Zack Sabre Jr. Bray.
Yeah, I would love to see Zack Sabre Jr. Tile Bray. Let's just see how that works out for him. Hold on, before we move on. All right, crowd. All right, people. I want you to know that we do watch more than just WWE. Obviously, we pulled out a Zack Sabre Jr. So, like, we're not just shills for one company. Okay.
Shit.
So whatever. And if you don't know that, please do us a favor. And you can find us on all sorts of social medias where we only plug WWE stuff. But maybe later in life, with your support, we can plug more companies too. So if you find us on Facebook, you can find us on TikTok, you can find us on Twitter, and especially find us on YouTube. Search for Cream of the Crop Wrestling on YouTube. Be sure to like all the videos you see there, but even more importantly, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any new content when it does come out.
All right, well, let's get the next match started, which is a 6-pack challenge, and the winner gets a chance to face Ronda Rousey for the SmackDown Women's Championship at Survivor Series War Games. And it's Liv Morgan versus Sonya Deville versus Lacey Evans versus Xia Li versus Shotzi versus Raquel Rodriguez. And this match is no disqualification, no countouts. At the beginning of the match, they all spill out to the outside, and we see Liv going after Sonya during this match, who Sonya would always go for a cover when someone else would hit a big move, which I was just loving. Xia Li had a great showing during this match. Liv had a really good showing and was definitely a favorite to win and almost had it won. But at one point, Raquel pulls out a table and was going to put Sonya Deville through this table, and Liv Morgan wiped them all out, leaping from the barricade. Meanwhile, Shotzi and Lacey Evans are in the ring, and Shotzi hits the Never Wake Up DDT and pins Lacey Evans and earns her shot at the champ, Ronda Rousey. I want to say, I believe the Liv Morgan spot jumping through the barricade, I think they were supposed to go through the table.
I assumed as much. Yeah.
It didn't quite plan out as well, but that's okay. It's kind of sad to see a table get pulled out and not get broken, so we will take a moment of silence for that. All right, and moving on. Rob, what do you think about this matchup and Shotzi getting her chance at the SmackDown Championship at War Games?
Match was fine. Nothing too special on that front. I thought everyone looked good in this one. Everyone had a little bit of time to shine in this. Sonya Deville, man, she works pretty stiff, doesn't she?
She looks, her stuff's a little believable, like I can't tell if it's actually stiff or if it's just like, I don't know.
There was a few shots in there that I was like, oh damn, all right, cool, you good? But the only person in this whole match to me that just came across as you shouldn't be in there anymore, which surprised the hell out of me, because this woman was on track to be a star, was Lacey Evans. I thought Lacey Evans just looked out of her element in there, which was kind of weird. I don't know what happened there, and so that went through me for a loop. As for Shotzi winning, I thought Raquel was winning going into it. That to me seemed like a good match to have, especially a babyface Raquel kind of a giant, muscle-bound, face Ronda Rousey, give Ronda a nice big win. I don't want to say big win, but like, a better name to beat. But now with Shotzi winning, in my head, love Shotzi when I say this. I think Shotzi is, I love her. I love the gimmick. I love the tank. I love her. She's going to take stupid bumps for no reason. She's great. But I see this as someone that Ronda is going to beat in a minute and a half, because I think the whole point is we're going to get a random surprise return. And I'm not going to tell you who, because I have no idea who genuinely on this one. But I think it's just supposed to be a match. Ronda looks awesome. And then we're going to have someone's music hit. And we're going to have a big return. And we're going to be excited about it. So now I didn't give you any time to prep on this, Pat. So I apologize. I want one big name that we could probably expect it to be. And then I want one random name out of nowhere that you're like, holy crap, I would have not thought of them.
Well, the first one would be, especially if you're sticking to the SmackDown women's roster, would be Charlotte Flair.
That's the obvious one to me, too. I think Charlotte is making the return, yes.
I think Charlotte's about ready to return. I don't know how I feel about Charlotte matching up against Ronda right away. But yet again, you get the best Charlotte when she's in the championship picture. And you can't say that her and Ronda ever have like bad mix-ups or interactions. It's always,
right.
It's always screen grabbing when those two are together. And then the other one,
someone off the wall.
Man, someone off the wall.
Because who I have in my head, I don't know if they're available, but I would like to see it.
See, that's the thing is you got to think really off the wall, because we've gotten a couple of those here lately, and Emma returning and with Mia Yim returning. Someone off the wall for me would be to say that they would maybe a call up from NXT.
Okay.
But I know the champ down there right now she's still the champ, and I wouldn't bring her up right away. Just yet.
Yeah, that's okay. In the end, I think this Shotzi thing is someone for Ronda to beat in a minute and a half, and then we just get a surprise return to do a face-off with Ronda, and that's about it. And I think it may be a face-off with Ronda just to have Shayna come behind him and choke him out.
Yeah, you can't really go too far and say that you don't want to pull anyone from Raw, because the obvious choice would be Becky Lynch.
I mean, that's who I want to, yeah.
But I think she has unfinished business with Bayley in Damage Control on Raw. All right, well, let's head backstage, because Shotzi's on her way backstage from her match, and Emma stops her, but not only to congratulate her on her win, but she asked if she's seen Madcap Moss around. Shotzi says Emma is totally crushing, and Emma kind of walks away a little bashful. And but when Emma walks away, Shotzi turns around and bumps into Shayna Baszler. Shayna tells Shotzi she's just won a broken arm, or maybe she's just won a snapped ankle from Ronda. She didn't win just a chance at the championship. She's won, some broken limbs. Shotzi fires back, saying she's going to prove she belongs here, and she just may surprise the champ and the entire world, because no one's ever been in the ring or Ronda's never been in the ring with someone like Shotzi. Shayna says, you sure have a lot to say to Ronda, huh? So why don't you turn around and say it to her? Shotzi turns around, and there's Ronda Rousey. And as soon as Shotzi turns around to face Ronda, Shayna wraps her up and starts choking her out. This is a repeat of what they did to Natalya a week or two ago. And I gotta say, Rob, I actually love this spot that these two keep doing. What about you?
The spot's great. I love Shayna as just the big bully to everyone.
Yeah,
that's
the
my
antagonizer.
Yes, and Ronda being the badass herself, but not having to fight her own battles makes her even better. I love that. And also, did you hear the line Ronda said after they choked her out? Clean up on aisle green.
Clean up on aisle green. Yeah.
So stupid. So dumb. I love those lines. It's so dumb though. But yeah, no, I will say it every single week we see them. I love this pairing. So nothing new happened. Same thing they've been doing to everyone, but it's great. Great television.
What do you think about Emma and Madcap Moss being a thing?
So we all knew, for people that look on social media, we all know they've been a thing for a while now, which is great. I think it's good. Like, I think it's going to be good good story for television. Whereas, in all reality, I don't think Madcap Moss is anything better than a lower mid card guy. Emma, I'd like to see Emma do more. Who knows what she's going to do? But I love mid card, lower mid card stuff where there's going to be some little. Like, give me some love story, man. Give me something going on there. Those are two people I want to root for, and if they want to tell a story of Emma crushing on Madcap, even though we know they're together, and pretend they're not, and she finally gets the guy, I'm in. I love it.
Let's turn the corner here, because around the corner, still backstage, we have Caleb Braxton, who has Ricochet standing by, and he tells us he's excited to be a part of the World Cup tournament, and he can finally take back what's his. And that's when Gunther steps into the frame with Imperium behind him, and he says he wants Ricochet to fight with all his heart, because he would just love to beat him again. What do you think about this quick little promo we got from Gunther?
Anytime Gunther speaks is great. The reason I like Gunther when he talks is because he's always straight to the point. There's no beating around the bushes, anything. So I love that. I love teasing that Ricochet is going to win this thing. I think Triple H likes to throw those things out and then pick a different winner, make you think that, oh man, it's going to be this. So I don't know who's going to win. I just looked at the brackets here while you were talking. I didn't know. So I don't know when the title match is going to be. So, of course, in my head, if you look at it, Sammy's the most over person. He could win. But the guy in there that I saw, I didn't know Butch was in this tournament. For those of you that have never watched it, I think it's NXT TakeOver 35 in New York. It was WrestleMania weekend from New York, WrestleMania 35. So the first one before the pandemic, last one before the pandemic. They had a takeover match for the UK title when Walter, at the time, beat Pete Dunne, and that's when Walter first won the title. If they can get a repeat of that match, yes, give me that match again, please, in my life. So that's what I'd like to see. Give me some Butch and Gunther. You can even argue that's why Butch is in this tournament. I think so. I forgot he was in it until I looked at the bracket, and I was like, oh yeah, give me some Butch all the way. Because the one thing I'm just confused about, I don't know if you looked this up. So World Cup is supposed to be one person representing each country, right? A different country? I'm not sure what their angle is on that. Okay, cool. Because I'm like, there's totally 3 Americans in there, 2 Canadians. Like, I know it's a theme, but I don't think they're trying to play to the nationality theme too hard. I think it's just kind of a part of it, you know. Is it just because the actual World Cup's existing? I want to say it's more or less just because the winner gets a chance at the Intercontinental Championship. So it's, it makes sense in that aspect. But I don't think they're trying to play too hard into the nationality storylines here, so I don't know. Okay. But let's move on and head to our 4th match of the night. Oh, wait, hold on. Before you move on, I'm sorry. Who do you got winning? Oh, the World Cup? Yeah, I got Butch. Oh, you got Butch winning? I'll take Butch. I would say it depends on if you want to take the championship off Gunther right now. You don't. That's the answer to that. You don't. So you don't. So I don't see Braun Strowman winning this championship cup. I think Gunther beats Strowman. I think Strowman gets screwed out of his match, out of his semifinal match or something later on. I think he gets knocked out for some reason. I don't think he's going to win the cup and face Gunther. If anything, I do like the callback to Ricochet coming back around and getting another chance. You can have Gunther beat him again. The one odd person I saw in the tournament to me was Mustafa Ali. He's the one person that's from Raw that's in this tournament. So that's a little odd there too. I don't know. Because you got I don't know. Can't call this one. That's right. But our 4th match of the night is another first round match for the SmackDown World Cup. And at the beginning, before the match starts, we see Jinder Mahal making his return. He's been dealing with injuries and hasn't been featured prominently here lately. So this is the first time in a long time we've seen Jinder Mahal. But Mahal tells us there is no man who can stop him from winning the World Cup. And that's when Braun Strowman's music hits and the monster of all monsters comes down to start this match. Jinder starts out on the offensive, aiming for Strowman's legs until Braun rallies using his strength, hitting the Strowman Express and finally winning with a monster
powerbomb. Strowman advances to the semifinals. Another short and sweet match. What do you think about it?
I definitely, it was what it was. So I get a little, anytime a Strowman Jinder match comes out, this was as many minutes as I wanted it to be. So I had no desire to see like a 8 to 12 minute Jinder Strowman match. So I was for that. So I appreciate that. But anytime I see like a tournament or World Cup kind of thing like this, I don't know. I just want to see, I like variety, but I also want to see way more competitive matches so that as they move on, it makes them seem more like they really worked for it kind of thing. So, but in the end, it was what it was. Jinder is in the perfect role right now. Like, he's never going to get pushed again, as he shouldn't. But he still knows how to go out there and get booed. Like, he knows how to get booed.
He's the modern-day Maharaja.
I know. That's fine. He's playing his role perfectly. He goes out there. He knows how to get on the mic and get booed so easily. He literally... You're going to hate me for this.
Uh-oh.
I know. I don't mean this in a way that he's annoying. I mean this in a way that people love to boo him. But he's on the level of JBL of getting heat. But I don't mean it in a get off my TV heat way. I mean it as in like, dude, you just do so good at your job. Like, thank you for being you.
I like Jinder Mahal. I think he's a great heel.
Yes.
I'm glad. He's definitely I think he had an underwhelming championship run, and it was definitely an unexpected.
Dude, not his fault.
Run.
Not his fault, though.
Not his fault at all. Again, I think it's definitely a person you can always put in there, and him end up being a dark horse every now and then. You know, kind of give him a bone every now and then a little bit. He's not bad for it, and you know he's proven before that if you let him go, he can make something out of nothing. So, glad that Jinder Mahal is back and we get to see him. I'm surprised Shanky wasn't with him, but yet again, I'm not surprised Shanky wasn't with him. Strowman, again, another quick Strowman match. He does what he does. He plows through people. The monster powerbomb, as always, just looks painful no matter how safe they are doing that. The Strowman Express run around the ring is always a fun spot.
Oh, no matter where he goes and what he does, like, I'm not the biggest Strowman fan, and that's fine. But, like, that dude gets cheered so intensely by the crowd, man. Like, no matter where he goes, the crowd loves him.
Yeah, I think it's a fun match every time he gets in the ring. You know what I mean? You get to see, like, a really big guy just display his full strength. And Strowman's the perfect man for it. But let's go to move on to our next match of the night, because we have Zelina Vega in the ring set up for a match versus B-Fab in a one-on-one match. Legado del Fantasma are with Zelina and Hit Row, and B-Fab make their entrance. But before the match could start, we hear a Viking horn and drum. The mysterious Viking woman appears on the stage ramp and tells us Valhalla is here. And that's when the Viking Raiders make their return, attacking Legado del Fantasma from behind. They take out Legado del Fantasma. They take out Hit Row. Eric and Ivar have made their return. And then we can finally confirm the mysterious woman is none other than Sarah Logan, who takes out B-Fab with a great pop-up headbutt. And the Viking Raiders stand tall over everybody in this tag division right now, I think. What do you think about the Viking Raiders making their return with Sarah Logan?
I'm going to start off with a joke. They should be the biggest baby faces in the company right now because they came out and saved us from a B-Fab Zelina Vega match. So I've never cheered them so intensely that we didn't have to sit through that. So thank you, Viking Raiders, and thank you, Sarah Logan. You guys are the top baby faces, and you get title shots immediately. But no, secondly, I am glad they're here. I'm very excited about them. They look great. They look so menacing. All their stuff always looks so intense and so stiff, and like everything they do is just great. I hope this time around, I'm gonna leave the McMahon Triple H stuff to the left on this one, where I don't care who books better. I just want them to stay healthy. That's been their biggest issue. Stay healthy, and then we can finally see what you guys are actually capable of. So And then as for Sarah Logan coming back, awesome. Like, I hope she gets the opportunity to be what she is on the independents. Like, dude, go check her out if you've never seen her, especially before she was Sarah Logan way back when. Dude, crazy great wrestler, a crazy woman in general. But she is an excellent addition to the women's roster on SmackDown. But this is just overall an excellent act to be added. I hope it just kind of replaces Hit Row. That'd be kind of cool for me. But in the end, the biggest baby faces in the whole company now because they saved us from the B-Fab Zelina Vega match. So thank you guys.
I have been a big fan of the Viking Raiders for a long time. I'm even a big fan of Eric and Sarah Logan's marriage. I've seen videos of their wedding where it's a beautiful Viking wedding. So it makes perfect sense for her to be matched up with her husband. And I think this is Triple H adding depth to the women's roster on SmackDown. Sarah Logan is perfect for it. Even coming in with her new gimmick that she has, I think can put her at the top of the main card with this new gimmick. And I hope she does get that chance to show what she's got. But let's end the SmackDown show because it starts out with the Bloodline coming out. Tribal Chief is acknowledged by Indianapolis, and Paul Heyman rips on the city and says they're not being very Usi tonight. And that's when he says the Usos versus the New Day is not a great rivalry because no one can compare to the Usos. Heyman does a spiel here where he just puts over the Usos. And this is kind of the first time he really talks them up. So this is something new that we've seen here. Roman then takes the mic to say it's not easy being his cousins because their entire lives everyone has acknowledged Roman for his greatness. But after what they achieved tonight, it sounded like he was about to acknowledge the Usos. But that's when he's interrupted by the Brawling Brutes, Butch and Ridge Holland, who come out to say they are sick of the Bloodline using the numbers game, and tonight is fight night, and they've brought backup. And that's when Sheamus makes his return, and Sheamus comes down and he tries to cut a promo on Roman, but the mic keeps cutting in and out. And because of the mic doesn't want to work, Roman fires back, making fun of him for that. And that's when the Brutes just run into the ring and they begin to brawl it out with the Bloodline. The Bloodline still outnumber the Brutes until Drew McIntyre comes out and we get a face-to-face fight between McIntyre and Solo for the first time since Clash at the Castle. McIntyre takes out Solo, then Roman takes out McIntyre, and Sheamus and Roman Reigns exchange blows. The Bloodline and the Brutes, along with Drew McIntyre, continue to battle it out until the show goes off the air. I think this is our men's War Games matchup, Rob. What do you think?
I like announcing it this way without having to have some cheesy line like Bianca Belair did. So I don't need like an announcement for the crowd to say this is a War Games match. We all know these teams are heading that way. Just fucking announce it like on a big screen, whatever. Like just make it official. We just gotta wait to see who that fifth team member is. I like Drew McIntyre. I think we talked about this a while ago that Drew McIntyre was going to be one of the members to join the Brutes in this match. So we don't have the fifth yet. We will get there eventually. I also love how the Brutes interrupted Roman right before he was going to compliment the Usos. And this is my favorite trope in wrestling. It's when something bothers you like really intensely, but you have to wait a whole week to talk about it on television, as if you guys don't live your lives at all on the other 6 days of the week. So of course we're probably going to get some sort of comment next week about the Usos being like, no, not Jimmy, just Jay. saying something to Roman about, like, hey, man, you were about to say, like, compliment us, or you're about to say something nice about us, and Roman's just going to be like, nah, dog, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, he's going to dismiss it, and it's going to be great. So I love that for sure. Again, dude, I never thought I would say in 2022 Sheamus would be as over as he is. Like, that guy, and when he had, like, his Mania match, and was it Mania 26, I think, against Triple H, like, he was super over then. And he had some moments where he was also over, but who would have thought in 2023 Sheamus is as popular as he is, man? It's so cool. Like, he's another guy on the list, and I'm just rooting for so hard. Like, I really am. So,
who do you have joining the Brutes and Drew McIntyre?
So this is just for me, for my own fantasy booking storyline of the Usos dropping the belts at Mania to Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. So I'm hoping Owens is in the match as the fifth member, but that's just me. So who do you got?
It makes perfect sense. If Sami is the fifth member of the Bloodline, we didn't get a mention of Sami throughout this entire show, really. So we
they just said personal matters. Yeah.
So yeah, who knows what's going on there? So yeah, like you said, definitely Kevin Owens would make sense. That would also mean making him a part of SmackDown. But yet we've seen him appear on SmackDown and stay a part of Raw.
Yeah, he's no, I mean I like Raw. Honestly, the way Raw's been flowing lately, I've actually enjoyed Raw immensely. So I think the players that they have on there are working well. I think you could still add a couple, but I don't think Kevin Owens is a guy on that list that needs added. I think he can work either way. To me, he's a utility player that has potential of being a big star. And I think right now his role is best served on SmackDown with the Bloodline storyline, because it just makes way too much sense. And as to me in wrestling, sometimes the most obvious story is the best story, and you don't need to surprise us. Just tell the best story that's available. And the best story right now is Kevin Owens being involved in the storyline eventually, and him and Sami being tag team partners who beat the Usos at Mania for the belts. That's the best story. So just fucking tell it.
Well, let's talk about our favorite moments of the night before we wrap up here. What would you say was your least favorite moment or your near fall of the night?
Near fall of the night for me, now this is just because I had it up on a pedestal going into it. It was the Shinsuke Escobar match. I thought it was a fine match, but I thought it was going to be one of those like show stealing type things, and for me it just didn't click as that. So I think that was my fault for putting it up on a pedestal before it got started.
My near fall myself would have to be, I would say Shotzi getting her chance to face Ronda Rousey. I don't necessarily want her to have, like, she's just recently turned babyface within the past couple of months again. And I think she does her best work as a babyface. And I don't want to see her get fed to Ronda this early. But yet again,
don't watch then.
So the 6-pack challenge match was definitely a good matchup. It's just the outcome wasn't necessarily the person I wanted to win. Not that I have anything against Shotzi at all, but yeah, just the fact that I don't want her to take the loss this early.
I don't disagree with anything you're saying.
Let's what's your favorite move of the night or your bump of the night?
Oh, the Kofi, I don't even know what he was doing, but led to him getting that giant 1D at the end of the match. It's a tie between that one and another spot in the match. I love the Midnight Hour, but it was the double stomp.
Yeah, that's when he did they do the Midnight Hour. I think it's Jay on. Is it Jay? That's who they do it to on the outside of the ring.
They did do one on the outside, but the one on the inside of the ring was the double stomp one.
Yeah, I like the one on the outside of the ring because of the camera angle. That's the move I'm going to pick. Is the Midnight Hour on the outside. Either. Just because that perfect camera angle made it look great. What was your favorite promo of the night?
Oh, we're going to have the same answer, man. It's Bray Wyatt and LA Knight.
Definitely my favorite promo. The Megastar cuts a great promo. I love Bray Wyatt coming in at the end and telling us, that he knows what it takes to do, to get respect. Mm-hmm. But does LA Knight have what it takes to do that same thing? So definitely going to be a test for the megastar, and I can't wait going forward. What about match of the night?
New Day and the Usos. Like, there's no question on that one. We all knew going into this that was going to be the best match of the night.
Another classic rivalry matchup between these two. The only thing missing, of course, is Big E.
I'm hoping. I don't know what his plan is, man. But like, even if he can't wrestle, I would love to just see him come back and just be a mouthpiece for the New Day. They don't need a mouthpiece, but just being an extra person there. Like, he's so fun.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's our program. You can show us some love with a like, leave us a comment, and give us a subscribe. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and TikTok. All of our content can be seen on YouTube, and you can listen to our podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Podcast. Until the next episode, I'm Patrick.
And I'm Rob.
Thank you for listening to Cream of the Crop Wrestling. Good night.
Thank you for listening to Cream of the Crop Wrestling. You can embrace the madness by finding us on Facebook at facebook.com/Cream of the Crop Wrestling. Follow us on Twitter at Cream of the Crop W. Subscribe to our YouTube channel by typing Cream of the Crop Wrestling in the search bar. Have fun with us on TikTok at Cream of the Crop Wrestling. And you can always find full episodes of the podcast wherever podcasts are found.
Nothing means nothing.
Nothing means nothing. What do you mean by that?
I'm talking about all the way to the top, yeah. Unjustifiably in a position that I'd rather not be in. But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah. You know that I'm the cream of the crop. The cream of the crop. Nobody does it better. Oh yeah.